This is a winter poem. It deals with corgi, the same corgi we've been talking about for the last 8 years. Turn off the light, go back to bed. Michael running out your head. He sings and taps and hums and waits. The moisture swelling and gathering thuds of talk, water oils from beneath my leather shoes as I'm walking home. Carried in sheets of weather, up and down in paradise parades, bent and dragged this way and that. The sheets pulse in untiring repeat, replaying the steps, swelling, damp, cold ringing. Thoughts wet condensate as I recall the day just left behind, recalling laughter dripping dragged along the tide by each sheet of weather, carries to resonate another repeat to moan of walking, collectively building the impression of many winter-tired shoes when there's only me around. Leather-bound, mistreated by sheets of weather, blasting the paradise parade. And as nothing can be seen through the layers of water running down across the skyplane, there's no way of telling, there's no one else around, no way of knowing. I'm walking here alone, at least from where you are standing. I know where you get your petty truths from, and you needn't look so proud. I found some there myself, but by the time that I arrived, all the watermarks had been stolen, replaced by photographs of a flightless bird. All the truths have developed holes, so now the answers are leaking birth dates, mixing with one another, festooned along the common sense in sullen pools of laughing, laying winter into pockets drawn of your expression. The keys have been rough on me. They've been throwing me around in corridor, been holding me down in spaces that just invade my person and glaze my flaccid eyes with meek. The keys threw me in a corner, turned off all the sound, where the pages just looked so uneasy. Their quiver's nerves began to scratch for mice, to mount the quiet walls, to find some other view. They say they're not looked after. They say they don't mean the things I sometimes say they do. They say they are nothing new. They say if I'm looking to find reason, then why do I hold my eyes as parcels and wear a prison mustache in the hip corner of my mouth, open, collecting the petty wages, in a coat folded to the outline of my lungs and just breathing them back out as the wings of a flightless bird calling at the afternoon. So I turned off all the lights so I couldn't see the things as they bent away my person to sift my form to captive curl, and silence met with blindness. I found you were there with me, in shimmers, fragments of broken light, spread across the room. I could just make out your breath, all down along one side. Your legs ran out the door, out across the window pane. Your face and curved expression across the Remington writer, the keys became your mouth. And without light or sound, I couldn't tell who was typing. But your jaw began to rotate in a mess of flailing letters. You spoke of toxic snow. I owe him $14 for a ride at a petting zoo. It cost me my month's wages. Now the toilets all have screenings. I lay my head upon the keys and watch you throughout the night. As the shadows shifted, you leant across my person, drew breath along my side. But by the time the morning came, a year from yesterday, I could no longer find your figure. I couldn't recognize your face, and you had hardly said a thing. You just told me you had things to do, and pulled an ocean from deep within your shoulder, and took off for the petting zoo. She knows that I have a guest book. You see, I left it there for her to see, so she too could understand that love is some sea-fed lost thing. All the reasons have been leaking all along the afternoon. So now it just takes away the sound, festooned along the common sense to mix the words and tide, leaves me reeling to be alone. I've got other things to do, just limping across the window pane. So I turn off all the lights, but this time you're not around. He calls himself a rainbow and pours another simple gesture from a hip amongst his ribbons. He hopes to build another winter from beneath another sound. I know where your petty truths come from, and you needn't look so proud. It just looks like anywhere, except all the trees had on them name tags, and cicadas were honed as pliers. All the people carried gravestones, proud to wear salads spread across their chin. Their smiles held with hatpins and a row of bayonets. Their clothes, the grime from sheets of winter, laying, crawling about in sound. so I didn't try my luck. I just packed my petty stationery and went off to find work.